artists, welcome back. Today we are going to be learning how to do some embroidery on a fabric called burlap. Burlap is a really nice fabric to use because it has very large holes in it. So this is what our piece is going to look like. It's going to be a spiral. This wooden thing is called an embroidery hoop, and when you finish with it, then you can take it off of the embroidery hoop. So what you're going to need to start with today is you're going to need a needle. You're going to need a scissors. You are going to need some yarn, just one piece or two maybe, and you're going to need your embroidery hoop with the burlap that has this spiral drawn on it. So go ahead and prepare those things and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need to do is take your needle and you're going to need to thread your needle. Sometimes you might need to sort of twist it at the end so that it's nice and pointy, and you're going to push it through the eye of your needle. You're just going to push it through so you've got about 2 inches hanging off the other end, and then we need to tie a few knots. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little circle, and then we're going to put it around the back and push it through, and then we pull it tight, just like when you're doing the first step of tying your shoes. So we're actually going to do it 3 times. And if you're not very good at this, you just have to practice because you need to learn how to tie a knot. So we're going to do it 3 times, and that way it's sure not to fall out. Now we've got it good and snug in our needle. Now what we need to do is we need to tie a couple of knots on this end, so that when we pull it through our fabric, it doesn't just pull all the way through, the knot will stop it. So what I do for this knot is I put it around my finger in a loop, and then I push it through again, and I pull it tight. And then I take that knot itself, make sure it's on my finger, I put it around again, and I pull it through. And what I hope is that the 2 knots go on top of each other. Now there they didn't go on top of each other, so I'm going to try it one more time. And I can kind of help the knots go on top of each other by doing it slowly and pushing it with my thumb until they land pretty much on top of each other. And once you've got 2 knots on top of each other, it shouldn't go through your fabric. The next step that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our sewing. So let's just take a little look at this. We are going to start sewing by putting our needle underneath our embroidery hoop, that's what this is called, and we are going to push it up. And if you push it up in the wrong spot and you notice, oh, that's not where I wanted it, then you just pull that needle back out and you put it up in the right spot. And then you're going to pull it through, and you're going to pull all the way until you feel that little knot hit. Don't pull it too hard because it will come through if you pull it really hard. If it comes through, pop, you just need to start again and do it again. So I'm going to pull it through. Now I've got it. Now I want to follow this pattern that's drawn on my fabric. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down also on the line, a little ways away. And then I'm going to push it down. I am not going to go around the hoop and up again. I went up, so now I need to go down. And then I'm going to pull all the way until I see a nice little stitch. Now I'm on the bottom, my thread is on the bottom, and so I need to come up. So you're going to leave a little space, and then you're going to come up on the line. And again, if you put it through in the wrong spot, just don't pull it through all the way. Take it back out and make sure you like where it is before you pull it through all the way. So now I'm going to pull it through all the way. Now I'm ready to go back down. Now the best thing that you can do to make this look the nicest is to make your stitches an even length. That means that this one and this one are about the same amount long. And also you don't want to leave so much space between your stitches. See where I started to put my needle up in the wrong spot? Now I want to put it up in the right spot. So I'm making sure I'm going up, pull it all the way through, and down. Pull it all the way through. I'm going to be going up and down, up and down. So I can repeat to myself as I go. Up, pull it all the way through, and down. pull it all the way through, following my little line that's drawn on my fabric. Up, all the way through, down, all the way through. So you want to leave a little space, but try to make your stitches pretty even, which means the same in one another, and we're just going to keep going. So let's keep going and we'll see what happens when we run out of yarn. Close to the end of your yarn, what I'd like you to do is make sure that you don't go until it's absolutely gone. So you want to take a couple stitches, and then when you get to the point where you put your yarn down to the back, then you're going to flip it over. So what we need to do next is we need to take a scissors and we need to cut the yarn off of our needle. We're going to cut it right close to the needle. You can even cut the knot itself, and that way the extra yarn will just fall off your needle. And now you've got your old yarn and you have to find a new piece. So I'm going to choose a piece that's purple and I'm going to tie them together. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the two together next to each other like this. And once I have the two together, I'm going to loop them both around my finger. So I have them both together on my finger, and then both of them are going to go through the hole. There we go. Both of them went through the hole, and I pull it tight, and now I've got a knot. Now what do I need to do in order to start using this yarn? I need to put it on my needle. So again, we kind of twist the end, make sure it's nice and tight. We put it through the eye of our needle. Oops. Put it through the eye of our needle. And then we do a loop. You can also do it around your finger. A loop. Push it through. And remember, we do it more than once so that we're sure it will stay tight. Once. Twice. And a third time. And you really need to try to practice that until you can do it easily. Now it's nice and tight. My thread is coming out the bottom. That means I need to go up from the bottom. Up and down. Let's continue and finish sewing the spiral. When your yarn gets this short, you want to make sure it ends on the back, and you might not be able to turn your needle around if you come up again here. So we're just going to put it on the back. And I'm almost done with my spiral, so I might just finish with that purple right there. So again, we're going to just snip it off of the back, and then you can tie another one on if you need to go further, or you can finish right there. I'm going to show you one more thing you can do if you really enjoy this and you have some time and you want to add something more. Alright, so if you love doing this and you want to do more after you have your first spiral finished, then go ahead and prepare your needle and thread by tying this on, as we did, and by adding your knots at the end. And then what I would suggest is that you come right up in the very center, pull up, remember, all the way, and then go down. And even though you don't have a line to follow, you kind of do have a line. You have a line of empty space in between here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a second spiral on the inside. And if you would like to do that, you can do that too. put it through right here. Then you're going to cut it. And the last thing we want to do so that these don't come loose is I'm just going to give you a small piece of tape. And you can take a piece of tape and tape those pieces down. Now they're stuck for good and they won't come off. So you can go ahead and even after this you could add more if you wanted. So have fun. I hope you enjoyed it.